Hello everybody, my name is Mandy. I am the owner and operator of Mandy Lynn Co. Makeup Artistry. Along with Janice and myself, we'll be posting videos just to show you a little bit tips and tricks that we know how to do. So I posted and asked what everybody wanted to see, and I've gotten two questions, which was how to put on false eyelashes and how to do a smoky eye. So I think the first time I'm going to go around and just show you how to do a smoky eye. I'm going to do two different kinds of looks. On half of my face, I'm going to do a daytime smoky eye that you can wear at work during the day, and then on the other half, I'm going to do more of an eccentric, going out clubbing. If you're a little bit more daring, you want to do something like that, just to give you a different kind of contrast, because there are so many different things you can do. When you hear smoky eye, a lot of times people automatically assume it's one generic look. Smoky eye can mean anything. It just means playing with different shades of tones and colors, and making them blend together to give you a more sultry look. So that's what we're going to start to do today. I'm going to start from the very beginning and show you, because I have a completely clean face. I haven't even put any moisturizer on. And we're going to start from a clean face and go all the way through, because a lot of times people don't know how to exactly put together their makeup right or put on their makeup correctly. And what I want to offer is that opportunity to learn how to do it from start to finish. If you have any questions after this video, please feel free to post. I'll do a follow-up video, or shoot me an email, and I'll give you some more details that way. So what I like to do is I actually use a very generic brand foundation that you can get at any store. I found that for different age ranges and different skin types, it works really, really well. It is Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Radiant Firming Makeup, and those of you who have had me do your makeup know that I use this, and a few of you swear by it already. It is some of the best stuff on the product line. I do love MAC makeup, but MAC makeup can get expensive, whereas this bottle is maybe $12. MAC is $25 to $30 depending on the brand that you get. So my particular color, and bear with me, this is my first video, so I'm sure there's going to be some flubs. This is my particular color, which is Creamy Ivory, because I'm really, really fair. As you can see, Janice is a little more dark skinned, so you'll be able to get some ideas from her skin tones as well when she does her videos. So what I like to use is a sponge. Now, I'm using one that's already been pre-used, but you really kind of want to use a new sponge each time. I just used this sponge earlier today, so that's why I'm still using it. It hasn't had time to sit. The reason you want a new sponge each time, or at least use it every 2 or 3 times, toss it and get a new one, they're very inexpensive, and sponges hold on to bacteria. For those of you who have a little bit of fine lines and wrinkles, which I'm starting to get them, I'm rounding 30, so I'm starting to get them. It's easier to use a sponge than to use a foundation brush. I personally don't use foundation brushes because it tends to leave lines and creases, and they're very hard to cover up once a foundation has set. So what I'm going to do, and I don't know if you guys can see, I'm going to put about, I want to say a little bit more than a dime size on my sponge. And I'm going to take it, now bear with me, again, this is my first time doing this on camera, so I'm going to take it and blot here and blot here. And you're going to take it and you want to blend in and up. And I cover my eye and blend in and up. Now you're going to do this all over your entire face. And again, I'm not familiar with the editing yet, so this might be a long video for everybody. Cover your eyebrows. Blend up into your hairline, and again, always up and then down. Do not go down on your face. You're not going to want to do that, because what it'll do is drag your lines down, and those of us that know as you get older, your lines start to define themselves, and if you define a droopy eye, it's going to continue to be a droopy eye. So you want to fight gravity the best as possible and push upwards, especially in your T-zone, push upwards into your hairline and just blend. Again, on both sides, upwards into the hairline and blend. Now that you've done the top portion of your face, you want to make sure that you get everything completely covered. Some of us need a little more coverage in those dark circle areas than others, myself included. Take it and do another little, like half a dime size, because you're going to do the bottom portion of your face now. Take it and just, same scenario, and blot. It's very important to bring down past your cheek line And you'll know if it's the right color, because if it's not the right color, you will see a significant difference. As you can tell, I know this is video, but as you can tell, my coloring blends completely in. So it's the right coverage and color for me. Now that you've let that set, give it a few seconds just to set into your skin, because you know your skin are porous and it needs to absorb. Go through with when you're up in the mirror, you're going to go through the mirror and make sure that you've completely covered. I'm going to pull out a little compact just to make sure, again, because I can't really tell with the camera if I've gotten it completely blended. So you just go through. Oh, it looks pretty good. Blend over. Make sure you've gotten every little blemish that you want covered. And all of your lines are neat and clean. That's simple, folks. I like to use a concealer. It's completely up to you. I don't use primers as far as lip primers and lip primers. I kind of think they're a waste of money. I buy concealers and I use concealer. It's the exact same thing. All it is adding a little bit of extra help to cover and to absorb any kind of pigmentation you put on top of it. So I actually like this particular brand. It's a brand that Sally's carries. It's called Palladio. I use a lot of Palladio product, and the reason I do is it's amazing product for affordable cost. I personally have this Palladio Herbal Liquid Concealer. This is in the color of nude. Don't know if you guys can see that or not. It's in the color of nude. What I do to make sure that I get even coverage, again, I'm going to use my little compact, and it is CoverGirl, thank you. I'm going to use the compact CoverGirl, and I'm going to take it because I have dark circles under my eyes, and just blend it in. And again, you're going to want to put as much or as little as you like. It's up to you. This is personal preference. Makeup is not uniform. Okay? And then I'm going to take it and do the top. And just blend up into your brow. Do not cover your brow with this. Again, it'll put too much color on your brow, and you're going to have a harder time later when you're trying to define your brows. Okay, now as you can see, it's streaky. It's not where it needs to be. So I come back on top of it with my sponge, and I blot. Do not rub, blot. If I teach you anything today, it is do not rub, blot. You waste more product when you rub than when you blot. And you lose the coverage you just applied. So, as you can see, I'm blotting it out. It's completely even. Completely even, and you can see the difference. Look at the difference between this eye and this eye. Again, this eye has completely covered with concealer, and this eye has just foundation on it. I personally like the way it looks. I'm a perfectionist. But to some people, they don't need concealer. They don't have dark circles. They don't have issues underneath their eye. Their eyes hold on to pigmentation. I have dry skin, so I need that little bit of extra help that I can get to grab onto a pigmentation. By what I mean by pigmentation is a loose powder, a compacted powder eyeshadow. If you have a little bit more there to grab onto it, meaning a foundation or a concealer or a primer, it just helps and it makes it more vibrant. So I'm going to quickly try to do the other eye as we're talking. Now you can also take this. I personally also use it on other areas because I'm Italian, and a lot of women don't want to talk about this, but a lot of Latin and Italian women, and I'm sure other ethnicities as well, have issues with hair. And for the longest time, I had a hard time admitting to it and admitting that I had hair issues. I have to pluck, tweeze, wax, shave, do everything under the sun because I am a Latin-based woman, Italian, and I have hair issues. So not only do I cover my eyes, I cover the mustache area. And the reason I do this is if there's any kind of straggle hair or anything else that's there, this completely covers it and you don't see it after your makeup's done. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm still a beautiful woman, just like every other woman out there is. But you know what? We're not perfect. No woman's perfect. And if you see a woman and you think she's perfect, she's got flaws. So again, we're going to take it and blot until it's even. You might have to blot a little heavier on your mustache line. And go up into your eye. Okay. A little extra blot there. Didn't want to smooth out. But that's okay. Again, nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes, and apparently I just did. But that's okay. As you can see, it's completely covered on both sides. My mustache line is completely covered, and I like to make sure my lips are covered as well. So I just take there's a lot extra on my sponge, as you can see through the line. You can see, let me get something that can point to it. You can see here, there's an actual thin line where foundation and concealer have sponged into the sponge. Obviously, that's what a sponge is for. So I just take it. It's still liquid. It's still wet. And I just kind of pat it over other areas where I want a little bit of extra coverage. And just make sure I smooth everything out. Now, as we're talking, I'm letting this set. Some people like to use compacted powders, i.e. CoverGirls. I used to swear by these, and I still use these on some clients that I have. I personally have found loose powders to be my friend. As I've gotten older, they tend to be a little more concealing. They tend to give me the kind of matte coverage that I need because I tend to get a little shiny throughout the day. We all work. I have a 9 to 5 just like everybody else. So I need a little extra coverage to just make it set all day to where I'm not constantly reapplying powder and paling myself out throughout the day. Because not only do you have to reapply powder when you go to the bathroom halfway through your day and you put powder on your face to cover up the shininess, you have to apply foundations, you have to apply, blushes, you have to apply any kind of shading that you do. You have to redo all of that. I find that with this kind of powder, I don't. I use it's a Palladium. This is Femme Couture Mineral Effects Mineral Makeup. This is in Fair. It's just a mineral powder that is loose, and it works perfectly for me. I also have just bought a brand new one. It's a little dark for my skin tone, but it works for a few of my clients. It's by Joe Blasco. Joe Blasco is an amazing cosmetics company. I find their foundations to be a little too thick and greasy for my taste and for a lot of my clients' tastes as far as their foundations. But their eyeshadows, I'll be using a few of them today. Their eyeshadows and their powders are amazing. I love them. I think they're great. This entire thing, I think I got it at Connie's Hair and Nail Design here in Kissimmee. I put a big shout out to them. Go and see them. If you ever want to get your hair done, go see Mariana or Fergie. Fergie actually works for Mandy Lynn Co. This is, I think, $20 there. And what it is, it comes with a little powder puff. And it is just loose powder. This is in a medium coverage. It's, come summertime, once I really get a tan, it'll be a perfect cover for me. But it works for a lot of my different other skin tones. It actually works for African American women, and it works for my Latin women as well. Because what you do is put a darker foundation, and then you just go over top of this because it's more of a finishing powder. It's not a color powder. So it just puts that nice matte finish. Now, as far as what we're going to do, I'm shaking my powder. Make sure I get enough here. Again, I bought this at Sally's for $3. I'm going to take my big powder brush, and these are e.l.f. powder brushes. You can get them for $1 at, I believe, Target, or you can order them at elf.com. I'm going to put an even amount of coverage on my brush. As you can see, I put it in different sections of my brush. I'm going to tap it onto the lid because there's a lot of excess there. And I'm going to start in the corner of my eye and circular. Just circular up. And again into the eye. I've got a lot on my lid, so I'm using the lid as kind of like a application starter. Go back in, put another good coverage, tap into the lid. As you can, I don't know if you can see that or not. It's in the lid. Go back through here and circles. Just blends. Completely blends. And I know it looks like a lot of makeup, but ladies, it's worth it. Make sure you bring it down into your neck. It's no different than using a pressed powder. The only difference is you have to do a little bit of extra step. You wind up not using as much, to be honest with you. And it gives you a better coverage. It just gives you a more even coverage, a more matte finish.